Thank you, Chairman, and welcome, Administrator Regan. I really appreciate, as a career meteorologist, I appreciate your words of a government as a whole approach. It was also a pleasure to welcome you to Rockford, Illinois, a few weeks ago. It's a pleasure to see you again. In Rockford, we saw how the investments provided in the bipartisan infrastructure law are improving access to clean water and the overall health of the people of Illinois. The Farm Bill is another bipartisan opportunity to make historic investments that improve water quality by preventing runoff through conservation measures and protecting soil health, all while creating jobs and securing our nation's economic vitality, so that cities like Rockford and Northern Illinois can improve the lives of everyone, including our producers. I look forward to collaborating further with my colleagues to deliver more federal funding to these communities. So I'd love to talk a little bit more about water quality. Administrator Regan, you mentioned in your testimony that the EPA plans to use the full flexibility of the Clean Water Act, the regulatory framework to champion innovative financing to achieve water quality goals. What technologies and market-based models is the EPA considering?
Well, the good news for us is we have a lot of water utilities out there and a lot of water utility associations that are on the cutting edge of taking a look at how they use specific rate-based formulas that are best for their customers to access these advanced technologies, whether it be carbon filtration or other types of technologies that might be suitable for small, medium, and larger utilities. We want to provide that flexibility. Our goal is to ensure that all of these can perform at a level that meets those pollution standards that we set. And we do take into account our smaller rural communities that we know that don't have the tax base. And that's one of the great things about the bipartisan infrastructure law. Over $10 billion to look at emerging contaminants like PFAS, and then a set aside of $3 to $5 billion of that solely focused on our rural water systems. Secretary Vilsack and I have looked at our respective pools of money, and we've decided to combine them, especially in our rural communities, to be sure that we're getting maximum leverage, power, and potential to make our rural communities as competitive but as safe as possible. So, yeah, we're really proud of the partnership we have, not only with our other federal agencies, but state and local and county governments as well. And they play a role in how we really keep their communities safe.
And I appreciate that because that affects the farm communities where we are investing. For instance, in Lanark, Illinois, and we're working with folks in Alexis, Illinois, to bring about change in these areas. I'd like to switch over to talk a little bit about PFAS for a moment. Farmers and ranchers are rightly concerned about the impact of these forever chemicals, the contaminated biosolids that may have been used as fertilizer now contaminate their land. Am I correct in understanding of the law that biosolid applications are generally exempt from CERCLA, the Comprehensive Environmental Response, Compensation, and Liability Act? Are they exempt from that liability?
What we've done is we've made it very clear that our goal is to go after the polluters, not our farmers, not our ranchers, not our water utilities. And so we are using our enforcement discretion. We've designed our enforcement and discretion policy in a way that makes it very clear that we're not coming after the agriculture industry, but we're going after those who have polluted these lands in the first place.
Recently, the Environmental Working Group estimated that 20 million acres of fields could be using PFAS-laced biosolids as fertilizer. In several instances, PFAS have ended up in farm animals and milk as well as sources of drinking water. How is the EPA planning to address PFAS in biosolids?
Well, you know, and this is a topic that I've discussed a lot with Congresswoman Pingree, and thanks to you all and her leadership, we've received $8 million to specifically do some research and development around the uptake of PFAS into our plants and the saturation from biosolids and the like. And so that's something that we're looking at very, very closely. But I want to reiterate, we believe that we have the safest food supply in the world, and we stand by that.
and our farmers are great conservationists and want to do what's best, not only for the current, but the next generation as well. Thank you for your hard work as well. Chairman, I yield back.